I think it has something to do with playing and power. The playing part is obvious. You just enjoy yourself, the way colors and textures and figures work. The power is a visual grip on your mind. It's a power over yourself. It's a power that keeps you centered and focused in your essential being, whatever that is. I would say it's human beings. Human beings that I guess would be the central subject of the Renaissance. That's probably why that period in art speaks to me so much. I think one of the very top experiences in my life was seeing the paintings of Giotto. The ones that spoke to me a lot were Picasso, Matisse, Chagall, Giacometti, Paul Klee, Miro. Then later in art school, my big heroes were Baltus, Wyndham Lewis. Picasso was kind of stayed with me all the years. Matisse. And I loved looking at old paintings. And I liked the work of Goya very much, the early Renaissance painters. But these artists, I think, had a big influence on me till I was, well, I guess 35 or so. When I was 35, I was struggling so hard to get the figure down the way I thought it should be. I went into myself and said, you know, just draw without any model, let it come from inside you. That was a very long, difficult process. I think it took me at least 2 years before I began to feel I'm getting somewhere. I had my own style. I had my own way of looking. Since then, I've more or less kept that style going. I was a very energetic kid, dominant. I had my own little club called the National Beavers Club because of our big buck teeth. I was pretty outgoing and enjoying life till about 12 or 13. Then I became very introverted, completely closed off. Found a lot of books that interested me. Somehow I got through high school and went on to art school. Lucassen. Lucassen was a funny guy. He was a real small guy. Always had this huge cigar in his mouth and big glasses and short hair. And he'd come in and look around. His English was terrible. Every sentence that he made was actually half Dutch, at least the grammar for sure. If you got a compliment from Lucassen, you should be happy, because he was at that time, and maybe still is, a very well-known artist in Holland. So he came into my studio at one point, and he hadn't said much before then, and he looked at my paintings, and he spent a long time puffing his cigar. He said, I think I like it. Not. I make a painting and I don't know what it's about. And after weeks, and sometimes even after years, I'll look at it and say, oh, that had something to do with a certain point in my life. I would say it's not a conscious process, but in some way, your personal life is always going to affect your paintings. I like to think that I work objectively, but to be honest, it does affect it. I just let myself go. There were forms, gestures, and I began to see things in it. And what happened is the painting that came out of it was my own. It had its strengths and its faults, but it was all for me. And I think that was a great lesson for me because it was the origin of my own style. I make gestures and lines and colors. I look at the painting for a while. I go and sit down. Sometimes I turn it halfway or all the way around. I begin to see things, an arm or a face or a cloud, whatever, and it comes together by itself. What I also do in a lot of my recent paintings is I put a structure behind it using a kind of a certain kind of plastic modeling paste. It's acrylics, and I use acrylic as a water-based paint so that it dries very quickly. I can work quickly, and as soon as if something is wrong, within 10 minutes I can correct it. I use crazy tools here, some like just a paint roller, and then go around, work on that quickly, and scrape things away with the old mess. Wow! And this is another favorite one of mine. Look at those little teeth. It's if I had to say which paintings I like of my own, I'm sure in most reflections this one would be one of them. It was made quite early, 1991. Something that I caught in her expression just haunts me. The Gathering Storm was one of a series of triptychs, which is an ongoing project of mine this last 2 or 3 years. There's a lot of structure in the painting, a lot of use of certain materials that I ordinarily wouldn't use. I like it because I don't understand it, but it seems as if it's on the brink of being understood. It does what I've always wanted a painting to do, what I call an open story. It gives you an idea that something's happened, and then you, as the viewer, should fill in the rest. What I think of the art world now? Oh, please. I'm content for myself, yes. I feel as if I've made a large body of work which looks good to me. I'm not objective. Nobody can be objective about their own work. But I enjoy looking at my own paintings, and I think that's the best test. And I'm pretty critical, so it's okay. It feels like I'm just a little higher in my shoes. It's been good.